Welcome everyone to the final episode of Virtually AWA of Season 1. We are stateside, we are here in America for the final pay-per-view of the series. Hope you've enjoyed it so far. Let's get into it then. We are going to be taking place at Madison Square Garden. I know that's not realistic in terms of only certain companies can run it, but the budget said we could, and the game allowed it, so we're going to do it. Madison Square Garden for our big 2-hour final pay-per-view of the series. And we will get into it now then. So, we're kicking off with a bit of a pre-show match. The ones that aren't currently in storylines, get them a chance to perform at Madison Square Garden. We've got Blue Tiger, Dan Stryker, Dickie Bowen, Phantasmo and Triple B taking on Alex Rancid, the Midlands Wrecking Crew, Bully Boy Carter and Johnny Rose, and the Dogs of War, aka Chris Smith and John Allens. Let's get to a rating of 18 on the pre-show in 9 minutes and 39 seconds. The face team win, with Dickie Bowen picking up the win, pinning Chris Smith after hitting the stunner. So good for him. In terms of ratings for the match though, the best performer was Dickie Bowen with a 26, Phantasmo just behind with a 25, and Triple B with a 24. Some shocking results on some of them, isn't there? Dan Stryker 11, Chris Smith a 6. Obviously, when they're not in big matches on the main card, they don't perform as well. And those ratings, as you can see on the screen, show that, really. 64 people at Madison Square Garden. This was a bad mistake, wasn't it? Nonetheless, we're doing the show, so let's get into it. In another pre-show match, we had a 3-on-3 tag team match. Garrett Bond, Monty Bird and Nick Flag taking on Lewis Blaine. Super Ninja, just before he retires, he gets to go out on a high at Madison Square Garden. And Petey Crockett, the owner, get involved for a match. A rare appearance for the ticket-paying fans in the crowd. Nick Flag gets the highest rating in this with a 25. Petey Crockett with a 20. Garrett Bond, 24. Solid from him. I don't know why Monty Bird got to 9. Or Super Ninja and Lewis Blaine, 8 and a 7. Some of these are terrible, aren't they? 16 rating overall for it, though, with the announcing and colour commentary giving them a boost. As I believe we now go into the main show. We do. Stateside kicks off with Chris Cage, the modern-day Savage himself, taking on his former tag team partner in Trident, Slapshot. Slapshot turned on his friend when he was going to win the Commonwealth title against the current champion, Thomas J. Curtis, hitting him with his hockey stick. They've gone back and forth since then. And Chris Cage picks up the victory in 9 minutes and 36 seconds with a discus forearm smash. 20 rating for this opening segment match. Chris Cage gets a 25, Slapshot 11, that's disappointing from him. The colour commentary gave the match a boost and the match got the crowd hot and the match got off to a strong start. This segment overall gets a 20. I apologise if you can hear the whirring of the washing machine in the background. I apologise, I didn't realise that we were going to do laundry when I was doing this recording. Hopefully you can hear me fine and you enjoy this episode nonetheless. Next up, we have Petey Crockett come out and welcome everyone to the show. Thank you for coming here for Stateside, our first show here in America, here in the tri-state area, here in New York, Madison Square Garden. What a place to host this, our first American show. Hope you've all enjoyed what you've seen from our opening match. Thank you for coming, and let's get back on with the show. Next up, we have a 5-way women's match. It was supposed to be a 6-way, but we couldn't get 2 local talents who are female wrestlers in the tri-state area. That might be to do with the database I'm using, but nonetheless, we could only pick up one other person. And that was Deonna Purrazzo, so it certainly isn't a bad choice. Deonna Purrazzo coming in as a exciting new wrestler here for the Stateside show. So you've got Alex Windsor, Deonna Purrazzo, Lacey James, Millie McKenzie and Nicole Matthews, all taking off with a chance at taking on the women's champion next season. The winner of this match will get a title shot against the winner of the match later tonight between FINA Fury and the current champion, Killer Kelly. Millie McKenzie then defeats Deonna Purrazzo, Lacey James, Alex Windsor and Nicole Matthews in 9 minutes and 55 seconds when Millie McKenzie made Alex Windsor tap out. The match, Nicole Matthews was above everyone else in the match. Good, strong performance from her, a 30 rating. You can prove that why she's the veteran of this team of women here in this action tonight. Millie McKenzie only got a 15 despite picking up the win, unfortunately. Deonna Purrazzo over 20 on her debut. Alex Windsor was off her game, unfortunately, and the colour commentary gave this a boost. 20 rating for this. This might be to do with the fact that we're in America as opposed to in the UK, so the ratings might be slightly skewed based on the popularity of the wrestlers. But 21, that's decent for a match that didn't have anything on the line apart from a title shot. So Millie McKenzie will take on the winner of the match later tonight in an upcoming event. Next up, we have a tag team title match. Renegade, Soul Killer and Hydrosis taking on Steel Industries, Mike Cash and Tony Pacino. And in about that had little heat and embarrassing wrestling, Renegade pick up the win in 15 minutes and 21 seconds when Soul Killer pinned Mike Cash with the running knee attack. Renegade win the AWA Tag Team Championship titles. Soul Killer carried the match in terms of in-ring performance, so it seems like he was the one to give the win to. Soul Killer picks up the win for his team. They are the new tag team champions, Renegade. Rio gets the first bit of gold in her stable. This gets a segment rating of 17. As I said, Soul Killer was the best, and Hydrosis unfortunately had 11 along with Tony Pacino, and Mike Cash got a 13. The announcing and the colour commentary gave it a boost though, so 17 overall for this segment. I'm beginning to think that doing this show in America was a bad idea based on the rating that I'm getting, but we'll see at the end of the show if we've picked up a good result or not. Next up we have Foxcatcher have an open challenge match. He said he was going to face someone from America with his title, his British Championship on the line. And he gets someone to answer the call, and it is none other than Rousseff. We might change his name going forward, but Rousseff, Madison Square Garden, people know who he is. He might not officially now be Rousseff, but we know he's Rousseff, isn't he? So he comes out, the Bulgarian brute himself, and he picks up the win in 15 minutes and 5 seconds when Foxcatcher is caught with the bullplex. And Rousseff is the new AWA British champion. Little bit of background here. Rousseff refused to put Foxcatcher over. I originally had this match down as a draw, but Rousseff was furious with the booking. So I had to give Rousseff the win because I want to bring Rousseff in full time going forward. So I guess it made sense that he wins the title here. He's a big debuting star and he wins the title. He gets a rating of 51 for someone who's coming in. Obviously in America he's very well known, so that rating makes sense. Foxcatcher only gets an 8 because he's not very well known across the pond, so to speak. That's a 29 rating overall though, so it's not a bad match to have on the card. It's one of our strongest segments so far today in the show, so it probably is the right call to give Rousseff the belt. So Foxcatcher will be back, but Rousseff at the moment is a star. Next up, we have a tag team match between the Billington Bulldogs. They will take on, Petey Crockett said last time, a team of American stars. And those coming out are Cheeseburger from Ring of Honor and Joe Hennig, formerly known as Curtis Axel in WWE. Both of those come into the match taking on the Billington Bulldogs. And the team of Cheeseburger and Joe Hennig pick up the win over the Billington Bulldogs in 15 minutes and 10 seconds when Cheeseburger pins Mark Billington after hitting the Shining Wizard. This gets a 36 rating overall. Good solid match. This is another good solid match from these wrestlers. The Billington boys get a 24 each, and Joe Hennig with the star of the match with a 49. Cheeseburger just behind with a 41. Cheeseburger benefited from having a groundswell of public support, so he's obviously got a lot of support at the moment in Ring of Honor, so that's good to know. 36 rating in this. Very good match from these four competitors. Next up, oh dear, I see the rating. Unfortunately, this is to do with them not being too well known in America. Killer Kelly maybe more so. In a match, Killer Kelly retains her women's championship, defeating Athena Fury in 15 minutes and 7 seconds with the super kick. Killer Kelly makes defense number 4 of the AWA Women's Championship title. Athena Fury obviously won the Peggy Lee Classic a little bit further ago. That women's tournament we did with 8 great women's wrestlers taking on each other in a round-robin tournament to decide the winner. It went down to Athena Fury, Nicole Matthews and Lacey James in a triple threat at the last pay-per-view. Athena Fury got the title shot on the back of that, and she's just come up short, unfortunately, against Killer Kelly. This gets only 11 rating overall for the segment, unfortunately, but Killer Kelly continues her reign as women's champion. Next up, we have a segment. Thomas J. Curtis is making his elaborate walk to the ring as the champion ahead of his title match, ahead of the main event of the show at Stateside. He is tapping the belt. He looks so happy about himself. And just when he's about to get the announcer to announce him to the ring, as after he gets in the ring, Kip Sabian's music hits and the former champion is back. And Petey Crockett, shortly behind him, announces on the Titantron that Kip Sabian is in the match. It is now a triple threat match for the AWA Commonwealth Championship, the biggest title in the company. And Thomas J. Curtis can't hide his disappointment at this. His client is back and he's trying to get the title back from him. Thomas J. Curtis might act like he cares a lot about Kip Sabian, but when the title's on the line and the champion of champions as he is, looks like his title reign could be in peril now that he has to face both Kip Sabian and Tyson T-Bone in this main event match. This segment gets a 31 rating, very good, from the returning Kip Sabian and Thomas J. Curtis selling how shocked he is that Kip Sabian is back and he didn't know a thing about it. And then now in our main event match, that had decent reaction from the crowd, Kip Sabian defeated Thomas J. Curtis and Tyson T-Bone in 14 minutes and 42 seconds when Kip Sabian pinned Tyson T-Bone with a springboard dropkick. Kip Sabian wins the AWA Commonwealth Championship title for the second time. He never lost it officially, had to vacate the title last time. He comes back and puts in a great performance to win the title back. Kip Sabian with a 38 rating for this match, very good from him. Thomas J. Curtis a 30 and Tyson T-Bone unfortunately only a 14. The NXT UK former star is not shining tonight. So that gets a 31 segment rating overall for this match, and I think that ends the show on a strong point. So overall we get a 31 rating for this pay-per-view, our season finale. Great score for us. We increase our popularity in 15 regions. I think that's the best for a long time. Despite some disappointing segments like the women's match unfortunately didn't live up to expectations, we did a really good show with the likes of Joe Hennig, Cheeseburger, Rousseff, Kip Sabian all stepping up to make this show one to remember here at Madison Square Garden. This has been Virtually AWA. I hope you've enjoyed the series and I'll see you again sometime soon.